Hey everyone, I'm going to share with you a memory from 1992. Some of you weren't even born yet then, but it's one of the early memories I have from a team that I've had the privilege and honor of traveling with for over 30 years, the OEW On Eagles Wings Hope Team. And we were sitting there and the song started being sung that I have decided to follow Jesus. Now, a lot of people know this song, but it's a familiar, simple chorus. And there I am. I'm sitting next to some Navajo friends that I had just made, and they're singing in Navajo. And I still remember some of the words. I'm not going to sing it in Navajo right now, but it is sometimes I do. We were at church this past Sunday, and there that song came up, and in my head, in my heart, I'm singing along some of the words in Navajo that I still remember because it stuck out to me at that moment that it wasn't just that I have decided to follow Jesus, but this was a familiar course because so many have decided to follow Jesus across this country, around the world. For me, that started when I was 6 years old, sitting there with my mom on the front steps of our house in New Jersey. And we were just talking about Jesus. And I said, Mom, I want to ask Jesus into my heart. And that was the day I decided to follow Jesus. Now, I had a lot of ups and downs since then. And especially I was later in high school where I really said, Jesus, I'm all yours. But that day when I was 6 years old was when I said, I have decided to follow Jesus. And whether it is just me or friends of mine in Native America or people around the world, they sing that song as well. And they mean it because there was that moment. They said, Jesus, I know that you died on the cross for me, that I was running my life my way. I was making bad choices, hurtful choices. I was living in sin. And Jesus, you died so that I don't have to pay the penalty for that. He didn't just die. He rose again this weekend, Good Friday and Easter. That's what it's all about. He didn't just die. He walked out of the tomb under his own power and he rose again. He defeated death, defeated sin. And he not only paid that penalty for me, the death penalty for me, but for anyone who says, I believe in my heart that Jesus is Lord. I believe that he rose from the grave and I want to have this relationship with him. So it's something that's available to everyone. And I love that about the gospel, which means good news. That word gospel means good news because it is not just good news, it is amazing news. And so as we head into this weekend, maybe you've been feeling some things in your heart recently because whether it's an uncertainty of what's going on in the world or it is things you've heard from family or friends, maybe you're at that point where you're like, I want to know more about Jesus. I want him to be in my heart and have this relationship with him. I want to be able to say, I have decided to follow Jesus. This can be your weekend for that. This can be your time for that. You can reach out to me to know more if you would like. Please, I'm always open to that. Or if you want to do it just more anonymously, you could go to chataboutjesus.com, and they could tell you more. But either way, if you just call out to Jesus and say, Jesus, I believe you died on the cross for me, that you rose again, that you defeated death. I believe that, Lord, and I want to trust you as Lord of my life. He's going to hear you. He's going to come into your heart. You can have that relationship with him. So I hope you have a great Good Friday, Easter weekend coming up here. And remember, this can be the weekend that you get to join that familiar chorus. I have decided to follow Jesus. I hope you could say that. Thank you.